One of the most common questions I get asked when I'm being interviewed as a guest on a podcast, for example, is how can we create sustainable habits, or how can we create habits that actually stick? Everybody wants to know how, with such busy lives, we are able to create and maintain healthy habits. So today, I'm going to tell you. And if you could ask me one question about habits, what would it be? Drop it in the comments below this video. You're listening to the Women's Empowerment Podcast, episode 242. Welcome back to the Women's Empowerment Podcast. I'm your host and healthy habit mentor, Valerie Levine. I help women who are making an impact live a life by design, not by default. Using the incredible tool of healthy habits, I educate and empower women to prioritize their own health and wellness so that they can feel great in their body and show up powerfully for the people depending on them. Part of what makes my clients and my students so successful is that they have sustainable and supportive habits. These are routines and rituals that allow them to experience life and to grow in their business and relationships. The habits themselves are unique to each person, which is why a list of healthy habits isn't what I'm going to share with you today. Nope. What I will share with you are strategies for creating habits that actually stick so that you can live a life with less stress and less burnout. A business value I have is honesty. It's very important to me to be honest and transparent about what I share. So before I get into all the strategies, I wanted to do a quick pulse check. We can do it together. The first question is, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being burnout and 5 being balanced, where do you fall currently? Personally, there is a lot going on in my life. We're moving into a new house in a week, less than a week. I'm teaching more than I thought I would be this month, and on top of it all, I'm pregnant. This is my first time saying it out loud on the podcast and online, so for those of you listening, this is my bomb of the day that I just dropped. But we'll have to do another show about my fertility and my pregnancy journey this year. Let me know if you're interested. If not, we don't have to do it. But for now, I will say that pregnancy has been a very humbling experience and has really helped me solidify boundaries in my life. More about this later. But the second question for our pulse check is, how do you want to feel? If you're new here, get used to this question. Our feeling word is foundational to our healthy habits and to the way that I conduct my coaching and also my courses. For me, I want to feel present. I want to feel present in my physical body because I'm going through so many changes. I want to be present when I'm eating my meals. I find that especially through this move, we don't have a table right now, so we're sitting on the couch to eat, and of course the TV is turned on when we're eating, and it drives me nuts. Anyway, I want to be present with the people or the person that I'm with and present in my work. And the last question for our pulse check is, how do you define balance? This is a big one and sort of a trick question. The answer to the question will really dictate your next steps, since the episode is called From Burnout to Balance. This is also our first strategy. Strategy number 1 is define balance. The truth is, balance looks different for everyone. It may also look different to the same person, but in different times or different seasons in life. Can you relate? After doing that very basic pulse check, after asking yourself those 3 questions, we've been able to learn where we are currently at, where we want to be / how we want to feel. And by defining balance, we have a very basic idea of how we could create that balance and connect to our feeling word. For me to feel present with my busy schedule, I need to have a schedule that isn't booked out with back-to-back meetings. I want to be able to look at my calendar and not feel like I'm driving around to different places every day or back and forth. And in the season of life, balance looks like daily intentional movement. I originally thought I would go to the gym today, but it was so beautiful out. I wanted to go for a bike ride. However, when I got into my garage, I noticed, because I forgot all of these boxes that were blocking my bike. And I honestly didn't feel like moving all of them. So I went for a lovely walk around my neighborhood instead. When you can define balance for yourself, you can start to make changes and or choices that support this way of life for you. And maybe you define balance by how you start your day or by the type of food you nourish your body with. Perhaps you feel balance when you ask for help and when you have a restful night's sleep. In terms of your sustainable habits, say yes to the things that align with your feeling word and your definition of balance, and say no to anything that doesn't align with them. The more you choose to align with your feeling word and your definition of balance, the closer you get to balance. For example, my feeling word is present, and my schedule today has 6 things on it. The first 4 things are inside or around my house, and the last 2 are near my studio. So I'm only really in 2 places. I'm driving today, but not more than those 2 places, and my tasks are not overloaded, and I've really given myself ample time to complete the tasks at hand. Strategy number 2 is begin the day with intention. While this is similar to our first strategy, it makes things a little more specific on the day-to-day. For example, I mentioned I'm in a very busy season of life, and I want to feel present in all areas of my life. With our move coming up, I've blocked out time in my calendar for packing, organizing, and all that. But that's not every single day in my calendar. Today and tomorrow, I'm in front of small groups of people. I am producing this podcast. So those first 2 days of the week, I really want to feel present, clear, and compassionate. And while during the days and times that I'm packing, I want to feel efficient and prepared and organized. Starting your day with intention not only sets you up for the day and the tasks ahead, but it also is a simple ritual to help you ground yourself, to look at what actually has to be done, where your energy, your focus, and where your priorities are going for that day. It'll make the world of a difference if you do this before anything else in the day, before checking social media, before emails, before texts. I use my morning beverage to stir in my intention, my feeling words for the day. And as I mindfully drink the beverage, I imagine the word or the feeling words going into my body and fueling my body. Checking your phone before setting an intention is a surefire way to the road of burnout. I'll be honest with you. If that's the first thing you're doing, that's the tone of your day, it might bring up feelings of anxiety or the need to leap into action immediately. And you're in kind of this like reaction mode versus being in a more rooted, grounded feeling where you're able to respond properly. And listen, maybe you are an on-call surgeon or a midwife or something, so maybe you need to be on call sometimes. However, I feel like the majority of us, those messages could probably wait, okay? Strategy number 3 is put down your phone. Now, speaking of stop checking your emails first thing in the morning, put your phone down. Technology is incredible. I love it. I really do. I wouldn't be able to have this podcast or my coaching business without it. But oh my Lanta, it's a huge distraction. Not only is it distracting, but depending on which accounts you're following on social media, it can also be energetically, mentally, and emotionally draining. Apps like TikTok and Instagram want you to spend all day on the app. They have teams of people researching and developing systems to keep you on the app longer. And if you want to know how much time you spend on a particular app or certain apps on your phone, go to the screen time settings on your phone to get the cold hard truth of your usage. It's very illuminating. Most phones have built-in softwares that allow you to limit how much time you spend on certain apps. So take advantage of this feature to really automate this new habit, or I guess break a bad habit. Wouldn't really be a new habit if you're trying to break it, right? Strategy number 4 is set solid boundaries. Another way to maintain or move towards a more balanced life is to set solid boundaries, not just with your phone, but in business, in relationships, and with yourself. This is one of the most impactful habits to get into, and the best place to start is by not replying to requests so urgently and immediately. For example, if someone asks you to do something and you know you don't want to, or you cannot take this task on, you could say, "Hi," name of the person asking. "Thank you so much for thinking of me for this task. I appreciate you reaching out. Unfortunately, the timing of this conflicts with my current commitments and I will not be able to take this on." Then you could write that you would be interested in something similar in the future, or perhaps offer a suggestion of a more available and suitable alternative of who could help them. If someone asks you to do something and the request lacks details or you need more time to think about it, you could reply with, "Hi," name of person asking, "Thank you so much for thinking of me for the task. Could you please share the absolute deadline of when you would need this to be completed for and any other details you may need?" So just include whatever else you need. The response allows you to really understand the urgency of the tasks. If it's something that doesn't have to be completed for weeks or months, perhaps you can add it into your calendar or put it on your plate. But if it needs to be done by the end of the day or the end of the week, it might not be the task for you. Remember, check in with your feeling word and your definition of balance. Does this pass the test? Clarity is a huge part of setting boundaries. When I've got a lot going on at work and my partner is on me for little house things, for future plans, like with this moving stuff, it's just a lot right now. But it's not always in my capacity to answer his questions. So I calmly and I clearly say, "Babe, I've got a lot going on at work and I want to give you my full attention, but I don't have it in me right now. Can we discuss this together?" And then I'll give him a very specific time, like this evening over dinner or after we have dinner. Or when I know I'm heading into a busy work week or a launch, I'll let him know a week in advance or as much in advance as I can. I say I'm going to be needing some support during this time, or I'll be preparing for the week early and I will need more of his patience, that sort of thing. And really the door swings both ways. Like I appreciate when he communicates his workload to me as well. And sometimes our busy seasons kind of line up together, and that's when we have to really kind of tag team the chores and the dinners and that kind of thing. And then other times we're like, "Hey, honestly, we both are we're in a stuck spot right now. Let's order takeaway. Let's do that instead." So I guess that's really clarity and communication. Be clear with what you have to give and communicate it to the right people. Not just others, but for yourself too. Sometimes I have to say no or not now to things I really want to do because I don't have the bandwidth for it. When we overcommit ourselves, we only end up burning out or not performing as best as we could have. And all that can really spoil experiences or spoil relationships. A couple episodes back, I talked about implementing habits into your busy life. And something I shared in this episode was that you cannot show up as your best if you're not prioritizing yourself and your own health. Burnout looks like dis-ease, sickness, and balance looks like health and energy and vitality. Choose your own self-care over a too full plate that leads to burnout. Strategy number 5 is be aware of your burnout symptoms. Sometimes change happens very quickly, or we accidentally let things fall through the cracks and bam, we're overwhelmed with life, with work, with all the things. Burnout can hit us hard, or it can creep up on us. Either way, there will be times where we fall out of balance, and it's okay. With the strategies and examples that I've shared with you today, my hope is that you have some tools that help you bring more awareness into your life and how you're feeling. You can do the pulse check as often as you need, daily if you need it. And when you feel your balance scale sliding too close to burnout, stop. Take a pause, a break, a beat, a moment, whatever you need. Do something for yourself that supports you and your well-being, even if that thing is doing nothing. If you can maintain awareness in your life and with your energy, you can maintain better balance as well. They are directly related, in my opinion. And to be honest, when I'm in these busy seasons of life, I purposefully schedule different types of self-care or breaks. I make gaps in my schedule for things like catching up or just breathing or going for a walk and spending time in nature. I just have to detach sometimes. And honestly, I'm a better person because of it. Let's do a quick recap of today's episode. First, define what balance means to you. Say yes to anything that aligns with your feeling word and your definition of balance, and say no to anything else. Begin the day with intention, distraction free. Just you and your feeling word. What energy are you starting your day with and taking into your life? Put down your phone. Limit distractions as often as possible. Automate timers, reminders, and phone settings to limit the time you spend on your most distracting apps. Set solid boundaries from technology to work to relationships to ourselves. Clarity and communication are foundational to setting and maintaining boundaries. They're supportive, not restrictive. Be aware of burnout symptoms. Get in the habit of bringing awareness to your environment and to your energy. And when feelings of overwhelm arise, take time to rest if you need. And as I mentioned, sprinkle in more breaks, sprinkle in moments of rest even before the symptoms start appearing. Need a starting point? Do the pulse check I shared at the beginning of this episode and let me know which of the 5 strategies will you be implementing. You can share it with me in the comments below this video, or you can send me a DM on Instagram at ValLevineLife.